scanning the field, throwing over the middle. It's caught at the 15. Dami Brown, he'll take it to the house for the touchdown.
Cousins wide open, touchdown Vikings. Johnny Munt.
Mullins, nobody open at first, keeps it alive. Nick Mullins lets it go, touchdown. Harrison Bryant.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome in day one of the Players' Championship, and we are live out here at the TPC Sawgrass course. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark back at World Headquarters. Tony, Jordan Spieth tied with Bo Hostler at the top of the leaderboard. A little birdie eagle open for Spieth, just the way I used to do it on PGA Tour Golf 2 for the Sega Genesis when I fired this course up, man. If I wasn't like 11 under at the turn, we were hitting restart. There was no saving games back then in the early 90s. So good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Running it back again. 1 degree higher every day has been the forecast. It's getting slightly warmer, although tomorrow's supposed to be like high of 80, I heard. Just absolutely gorgeous out here again. And
spring has arrived.
Man, what a group this afternoon with Scheffler, Schauffele, and Rory McIlroy all playing together.
Yeah,
I mean, that is insane happening. So, you're getting a half day in. Congratulations to you. Mm-hmm. Keep it focused on Jaguars today until noon, and then clock out and come about your business and make it out here in time for the premier pairing today with the two-time defending champion, Scotty Scheffler. We may get a chance. I don't know what the schedule is going to be like. It's going to be one of the kind of fly by the seat of our pants type situations. Hal Sutton rumored to be around, and they may bring him by. It's the 25th anniversary of the Be the Right Club Today shot that he hit. I think they've got a little plaque out there on 18
they oughta, yeah.
For that right there in the fairway. You can and they encourage you, drop a ball there, play the same shot, see what you can do on that. Obviously, the pin might be different, but and he won way back in '83 as well. When it was called the Tour Players Championship, but nevertheless, a two-time winner out here. Jags all quiet on the free agency front yesterday.
Yes, they were.
Man, I got to believe that, look, they have money. It's not like they can't continue to negotiate and look at players. The Cooper Kupp is a guy we'll talk about a little bit today as a potential target, at least. But James Gladstone's going to hold a press conference this afternoon. Mm-hmm. They're going to hold an introductory press conference this morning at 11:30 for some of the players. So you feel like they're presenting their free agent class.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean free agency is done. It continues the entirety of the offseason. Just slows down, obviously, greatly at that point. But it just, I feel like they had a list. It would not surprise me at all if they had a 9-player list and they got every single one of them.
Could be.
I'm
sure that'll be one of the questions that gets asked when Gladstone goes to the podium today. Like that kind of thing. I don't expect they got a whole lot more work to do when it comes to free agency. It is 9 guys, right, that they went out and immediately got. That's a big group of guys for day one of free agency. We haven't seen the Jaguars do that kind of thing.
But you look at it, and there's still plenty of places that you could add a guy that could contribute immediately to this football team.
Yeah, obviously. And they got money to spend if they want to spend it. It's just, I don't know how anxious they are, right, to figure out whatever the next thing is going to be. They could add an edge guy. They could Cooper Kupp, who knows what their level of interest is with that kind of thing. Like, there are spots that they could still hit potentially in free agency. I wouldn't be surprised if we even got through the weekend and nothing else happened with.
I would not. I wouldn't be shocked at it, certainly. And when it comes to Kupp, he wasn't officially released until 4:00 yesterday. The Rams were trying to trade him. Nobody wanted to take that contract on, and there have already been rumors of a bunch of teams that could have interest. Now, could have interest. Do they actually have interest? Not necessarily the same thing. Dianna Russini tweeted out yesterday, as Cooper Kupp remains unsigned, it's worth noting that former Rams executive, now Jags general manager James Gladstone, was with Kupp in L.A. Wide receivers Josh Reynolds and Devin Duvernay were cut last week in Jacksonville. The Jags have opening at receiver. We'll see. He's not coming here to run plays. Josh Reynolds. It's more like, hey, you might want to note they also traded away Christian Kirk, right? Like, that's the hole that has opened up in terms of production, and he obviously is a fit in what Liam Cohen wants to run. So we'll see. That's one of our questions we're going to ask folks today. We'll get to that coming up here shortly, just to see what your level of interest is in Cooper Kupp. I mean, again, if they deem the price to be right and it's not anything more than a 2-year deal, I'm not opposed to it. In a couple more years, you're going to have to set some money aside to give Brian Thomas Jr. a possible extension early.
Absolutely, yeah.
He, by the way, is rumored to be on the grounds. I don't know if he's out here yet, but I know he's has an event this morning out here at the Players where he's going to be reading to some kids in the kids zone or whatever they call it. So he's going to be on the grounds today. Your arguably favorite Jacksonville Jaguar. I assume Trevor Lawrence will be out here at some point, whether today or tomorrow over the course of the weekend. And hopefully you all are making your plans to come out here and enjoy what is just absolutely perfect First Coast weather. You wonder if we got, now granted, the time-wise didn't match up, but we get this weather in late January sometimes. You know what I mean?
We do.
It's beautiful. If we had gotten this weather during the week that Jacksonville hosted the Super Bowl, how much would that have mitigated, the whole terrible locale? I know that they complained about the traffic and not enough entertainment, but if it was just beautiful beach weather outside, you wonder if it would have made a difference. Today, Tone, we mentioned this yesterday. This is actually pretty interesting to me, some of the early results. Got over 400 votes on this morning. Your official Jaguars Today question of the day. Try to go with some outside-the-box picks. We're thinking about just saying, hey, who is the outside-the-box pick that you'd most like the Jags to invest in the first or second round? But I think we just get a lot of Ashton Genty, potentially, right? And the more draft-nick-oriented people would be able to pull a name out, and that's not necessarily for everybody. But if you see names in front of you, you go, oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that guy, this guy, whatever. Now, all these guys at times have been mocked in the first round of various drafts, right? But mocks are what they are, right? So here's what we did. We gave you 4 options. You could take Ashton Genty, the running back out of Boise State, at 5. Okay, you could take Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end, at 5. You could take Jahad Campbell, the Alabama linebacker, at 36. Now, Grant, I just saw a mock yesterday that had him in the top 10. But more frequently, he's been mentioned around that 30 to 40 range. Yeah. Okay? And Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M edge rusher, who, again, maybe a middle of the first round guy based on potential. But this is a guy, and again, you can get the latter 2 at pick 36 in this poll. Shamar Stewart played 3 years at Texas A&M, was a full-time player, and had 4.5 sacks in total in 3 years. If that doesn't scream a Trent Baalke pick, like, seriously, look at the size of this guy, the athleticism of this guy. Yeah. I can envision him finally putting it all together.
Yeah.
I don't see that being a James Gladstone type selection.
No.
Right now. Now, granted, maybe they value him as, say, the 18th best player, and he's there at 36, then you have to take your best player available. Right. It would have to be something like that.
I think, too, for the purposes of this poll question, where we're putting the 2 guys there with Genty and Warren, right? I think if you're going to vote, assume that there were no quarterbacks taken in the top 4 picks, right? Assume that there are 4 guys that you would have been happy with at 5, and every one of those names came off the board for whatever reason, right? Whatever that list is in your head, and it may be 5 deep, so you wouldn't do this anyway, but that's not what we're asking today. I would say assume they're not trading down to target one of these guys.
Correct.
They're picking one of these guys at 5. Which of these guys would you be most comfortable with there or at the top of the second round?
Right, and that's kind of the thing. Like, some people have replied, well, Jahad Campbell's much more likely to go closer to 5 than he is 36. Maybe, then you must love getting him at 36.
Yeah.
Like, I think for purposes of the average person who's listening to this show, if you put Shamar Stewart at pick 5, no one's going to vote for that.
Votes.
Right? Yeah. So I'm trying to do it in a range where, maybe it's a bargain even.
Yeah. We know Genty and Warren won't be there at 36.
You don't have to take a running back this year at 5.
Yeah.
You don't have to take a tight end. You don't have to take anything, obviously. Linebacker's not necessarily an obvious immediate need for this team, but might be more for the long term. And again, Stewart may be a first-round value, but it's all on potential and no production. And if I'm going to draft an edge rusher at 36, I want to start him. Is he going to start on this football team? That's a factor as well. So, anyway, Stewart is leading the way early on, but everybody getting a decent percentage. So, you can vote on that. You can also vote the second. We did a bonus question today. Just what is your level of interest in Cooper Kupp for the Jaguars? A, got to have him. B, only at the right price. C, I like what we have at wide receiver. In other words, we're good. He doesn't improve us enough. Or D, he is washed. I just it's not that I wouldn't add a receiver. I just wouldn't add that receiver. And there's only at the right price is dominating this. And I think that's kind of what we expected is why we've made it kind of the background question today. So you can vote on either of those on the X platform. You can find us at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Good morning, young Denmark. How are you?
It's good, man. How many White Claws we seen out there today?
I have yet to see a single White Claw
Stop lying.
today, but that's because they get drank so quickly. Drunk,
true.
Consumed
No
so
tall boys?
quickly.
No tall boys?
Oh, I'm sure. Tony had a tall boy as something. I couldn't tell. I think it was a White Claw earlier. He was pounding it, though, before I could get over it.
He better be on a sugar high, then.
Well, maybe he is, What just happened to Spieth, by the way, at the Players' Championship out here, as I see that there's a multi-way tie for the lead now at 2 under par, and Spieth is at 1 under. Spieth looks like had a double bogey at some point here early on. But we'll keep you posted. We're going to have Players' Championship leaderboard updates all throughout the day and tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, keeping you up if you every 10 minutes. You're going to find out what the leaderboard looks like, which players are making a move, who's in danger of not making the cut, and all those kind of things, including how many balls are going into the drink on 17. So let's get into it. If you want to be a part of the program today, 641-1010 on the phone line to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can always hit us up in the YouTube virtual studio chat as well. Gave out those social media handles. Demetrius Harvey is about 20 minutes away if the schedule holds, and we'll see what the day brings us here. Live from the Players, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Here's a 1010XL Players Championship Leaderboard update.
Molly McDonald with your Players Championship update, brought to you by Universal Roof and Contracting. With the 2025 Players Championship officially underway at TPC Sawgrass, we take a look at who's leading the way. With now a 13-way tie for first, some top names are C.T. Pan, Vince Wiley, Chan Kim, Bo Hostler, who has made his way early on, securing 3 birdies on holes 2, 4, and 6, but bogeyed on hole 8. Other names include Davis Riley, Alex Smalley, Sam Stevens, and Lucas Glover, all sitting at 2 under for the day so far. Stay tuned in to 1010XL for all your leaderboard updates today through the weekend. Your next update from the Players in 20 minutes.
Call 904-500-COOL. Ideal Conditions.
Ideal Conditions Heating and Air Conditioning is your go-to for all AC repairs and replacements. Just gas your AC. For exceptional service, call 904-500-COOL or visit idealconditionsjax.com to schedule your estimate today.
Call 904-500-COOL.
Honk if you see us. Call for service.
Ideal Conditions.
Idealconditionsjax.com.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Want to bet on sports but no clue where to start? Millions of players are already making moves on Hard Rock Bet. Your friends might be winning. Why not you? Bet with confidence. Bets by real players help guide your picks. Go with the crowd and cash in on the wins. Any pick that catches your eye. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Win your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100. Not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Summer in Jacksonville. Sun's out, flip-flops on, and whoa! Well, there goes Uncle Bob into the pool again. Protect your pool deck with Don't Slip Deck Coatings of Jacksonville. Their multi-layered slip-resistant coatings keep you on your feet, not on your backside. Durable, stylish, and way cheaper than an ER visit. Don't Slip Deck Coatings even has indoor options so your kitchen floor isn't a skating rink. Call 904-466-1839 for a free quote and follow Don't Slip Jacks on Facebook and Instagram.
You're locked in to Jaguars Today Thursday with
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Spring is in the air. Time to wake up your lawn with Heroes Lawn Care. Say goodbye to pesky mosquitoes with their organic and spray treatments. Perfect for outdoor fun. Keep your lawn clean and fresh with their pet waste removal for homes and businesses. Heroes Lawn Care takes care of it all. From mowing, edging, fertilizer, to irrigation, and much more. Visit heroeslawncare.com.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
Hand off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI Defense Firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
Did you know your pup could take 30,000 to 60,000 steps a day at Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard? That's a whole lot of tail wagging fun with their best furry friends. At Dogtopia, they turn playtime into exercise, learning, and socialization in their off-leash, open play environment. Dogs build confidence, reduce anxiety, and stay happy and healthy, all while having the time of their lives. Visit Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard today.
E.T. here, and spring in Clay County means one thing: the award-winning Clay County Fair. It's more than just rides and a concert, it's an experience. Savor the flavors of classic fair treats, explore family-friendly attractions, and enjoy a perfect mix of small-town charm and big-time fun. Plan your trip with Explore Clay County Tourism and turn your visit into a getaway. Find the best places to stay, eat, and explore at exploreclay.com. And don't forget to share your fair adventures with #ExploreClay.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks, vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers, they take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia. AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, somebody asked me this morning, and they asked it so politely, Tony. They said, good morning, Mike, which is very nice to see. Don't get that very often, but basically wanted to know what happened to that backup quarterback for Cincinnati. Wasn't he pretty good? Is he available out there? Actually, so I looked it up. I didn't know what his contract status was. That's, of course, Jake Browning, who was one of the greatest high school quarterbacks in history, right? And we all remember how he came in and tore the Jags up, right? And
he did,
and everything went downhill. And that was the game that if Jacksonville wins on Monday night, then they would have been back-to-back division champs at the end of it if everything else had stayed the same. But he is under contract for another year, so I had to look that up and didn't recall hearing his name as being an available guy. But yeah, that's Cincinnati's smart to have him, a guy who can step in and play and run their offense. And I think the Jags feel they have that now with Nick Mullins, Tone, who Grant Yudinsky obviously worked with, and I'm sure he had some influence on that selection. And he'll be as much expected to be a support system for Trevor Lawrence as anything else. We had Mac Jones last year and was forced to play at the end of the season multiple games and was just – he had a few moments, but he was okay at best, right? I mean, that on the high end. And but anyway, San Francisco, ironically, back in 21, I guess it was, when he was it 20 or 20, when they took Trey Lance after the big trade-up. There was a lot of speculation that Mac Jones might be their target. And Jones ended up lasting to, I think, the 15th pick, going to the Patriots. We know it now. He was traded to the Jags here as a backup, but he signed yesterday for 2 years to presumably back up Brock Purdy out there. And I heard a discussion yesterday, and I kind of fell into it about halfway in, and they're talking about paying Purdy $60 million. And I thought, oh, my gosh, are you kidding me? Did the 49ers cave and give him this money? The 49ers have lost like 4 or 5 starters in free agency.
Yep.
Lost another additional 3 or 4 guys that were backups that people are signing to be starters. I mean, this is a hardcore transition time, and you got to wonder what you're willing to pay Brock Purdy under those circumstances. Particularly, you may not have Ayuk for a good chunk of the year after he tears his ACL. Deebo Samuel is out the door. So we'll see. But Mac Jones gets a chance to go in there and back up Brock Purdy, and we'll see how things work out for the San Francisco 49ers as far as that goes. I think I see Hal Sutton
I think we
stroll
do.
In this direction. Hal Sutton doesn't need an introduction. He needs to just come over here and grab a chair, Mr. Sutton. You come on down, 2-time champ. Wish I was as accomplished as this gentleman right here. He's going to join us here, 2-time Players Champion, and we're celebrating the 25th anniversary, of course, of one of the most memorable shots in my golf lifetime. Hal Sutton joins us here live on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Hal. How are you?
I'm good.
Let me turn you up there and make sure we're all squared away. All right.
Okay.
Everything good on your end?
Everything's good. Nice day here.
It's a gorgeous day. I mean, they dialed it up right this week so far. We've had it perfect out here every day. I imagine this is maybe an everyday occurrence for you, but be the right club today. Do you get that every day of your life? Somebody just hollering at you?
Not every day, but it's sure remembered. I get it quite a bit, yeah.
They've got that little marker out there on the course for it. I am not able to hit it as close as you did. What a great time, 25th anniversary of that.
Yeah, this is special for me. It brings back a lot of fond memories. I played here an awful lot, and wake up and come out here on a day like today, it's a good day for scoring, in other words.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that, right?
I think you'll see some low scores out there today.
Yeah, when this tournament has been at different times on the calendar, right, which can impact the weather and the wind. Did you feel like this was a tournament and a course that you wanted to get out early on Thursday and try to put something up there and see if you could hang on for a while?
I always like playing early Thursday morning, especially if the weather was like this. But March is always a tougher time to play golf out here. May is a little bit. You get some weather in March here.
No doubt.
Sometimes.
No doubt. You've had the opportunity to play everywhere on tour over the course of your career, obviously. Does any golf course's signature hole match the personality of the course more than 17 does here?
It stands out. It does. No, I think you're probably onto something there. 17 has it's a bookmark for this course. Everybody knows 17. So much has happened on 17. It's not that hard a shot, really, unless the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
Or if you're in the last few groups on Saturday or Sunday, because the green gets pretty firm, and it gets on the left-hand side, and you carry it just a little bit too far, and the ball can get in the water.
I mean, you guys are the best of the best, obviously, right? And you know how to deal with those conditions, and you play in wind and all that. But how much of it is just pure nerves at times when you get into yes, firm greens are one thing, but you're in one of those last couple groups coming down the stretch on Sunday. How much does that play a role into approaching that final stretch of holes?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on 16, 17, and 18. A lot of people around the holes too, So there's drama, and the crowd's into it. A lot of people there walking from 16 green to 17 tee. There's a lot of people, you're close to them, saying stuff to you as you go around there. I remember, when I beat Tiger here, he eagled 16. I had him 3 down, and he eagled 16 to go just 1 down. And walking all the way around, everybody's saying, Tiger's coming, and I got to listen to all that and then go hit the shot on 17.
Right.
So,
you've been player of the year, right? You've won a major. So where does your rookie of the year on the PGA Tour, you've been a well-accomplished golfer, won a bunch of times. Where does winning this tournament rank among your fondest golf memories?
I would say winning here ranks right at the top of my fondest memories. This is the players' event, and the tour runs it. It's everything about this had the player in mind, and as a professional golfer playing the PGA Tour, this felt like home, and I think it does probably to these guys right now.
What effect does the way that they built this thing, it does set up these kind of stadium events for the fans too, right? They surround the players, especially over there. You talk about 16, 17. The atmosphere over there is unlike a lot of places on tour. Like, you just don't run into it a lot. How does that affect you guys on the course when that is surrounding this particular event, especially when you get into the weekend and you're in contention?
Well, my mind was trying to think of several things while you were asking that question, but this was before Waste Management. This is not a rowdy crowd. This is a respectful, traditional. They understand the pressure that's on that hole, and there's a lot of people over there. And the tour is actually, this came along before Waste Management. Waste Management for 16 probably got the idea from this.
Might have. Yeah. So, and they let them go there.
And they let them go there. And here, fortunately, they don't let them go. Yeah. This is for a lot of money here.
It is for a lot. And I think that Jacksonville is a great golf community, and I think people respect the history of the game and everything that's come before. And, and that they don't want to be the ones that overshadow the history. They just want to see it unfold before them. So, you mentioned playing with Tiger. That was the peak, right? I mean, that the early 2000s was a crazy time to stare that guy down and do what you were able to do. Scotty Scheffler may not be Tiger in terms of his level of dominance, but maybe the closest we've seen since. Is that good for golf? Is it good to have a guy at the top that everybody's shooting for?
Of course it is. Everybody admires the guy that can do those sort of things. And, their presence commands respect. So, I think it's great that Scotty's playing as well as he is, and I hope he continues.
Yeah, well, I got to at least see him high on the leaderboard on Sunday with a chance to three-peat.
I mean, could you ever imagine someone having a chance to win this tournament 3 years in a row?
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Hal, I got to ask you, my favorite sporting event, I'm a big football guy, my favorite sporting event is probably the Ryder Cup, okay? And what can we do to be a little bit more competitive as an American squad on a biannual basis?
I'm not sure what can be done. I don't think the Americans are playing all year long for a whole lot of money. And by the time September gets around here, they're scaling their schedules back.
Right.
And I don't think they go into it with as much want to. And that's the 15th club, is the desire to be there and to do great. It can't be something that you're just participating in. And I can assure you that the Europeans come there and they're not just participating.
You can see it every time.
They want to win.
They wear it on their sleeve.
They treat it like team sports.
You know, I don't know how to reverse that. I really don't. And I'd like to see it reversed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How are things in Louisiana these days for you?
Well, I live in Houston now.
Oh, are you in Houston? Okay, I thought you were in Louisiana.
Well, I lived there for 56 years.
Okay.
But I finally moved out of there. But my kids and grandkids and parents still live there. So I go home a lot.
Life's good for Hal Sutton?
Life's good for Hal Sutton.
You're very fondly remembered here in Ponte Vedra Beach, and you always will be. And you gave us some great thrills, and I'm glad you can enjoy all the family and kick back and let these other guys deal with the pressure of being out there in the last group on Sunday.
I like watching it on TV now.
Amen. Hal, it's a pleasure to meet you, and very nice of you to give us a few minutes, stop by, enjoy the celebration of your accomplishments. And I know you got a lot of stops to make today, but we appreciate you making some time for us.
All right. Glad to do it.
There he goes. Hal Sutton, a tremendous champion out here at the Players, and of course celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Be the Right Club Today shot that clinched it for him with Tiger Woods putting the pressure on a Sunday afternoon. Very nice to see Hal Sutton stopping by. So
absolutely,
I don't even want to check my Twitter because I imagine we're getting a get to football kind of thing. We will. Demetrius Harvey going to join us coming up next from the Florida Times-Union. Tony, that worked out. Timing couldn't have been better on that with Hal Sutton. So we'll get the word from Demetrius, as a lot of the new Jaguar free agent signings are going to be talking today down at the Miller Electric Center at 11:30. We're not going to carry that live, but you'll hear comments from them throughout the course of the afternoon here on 1010XL, obviously. So, again, thanks to the folks out here at TPC Sawgrass for arranging to bring by Hal Sutton, two-time Players champ. Back in '83, Tony was he won a PGA championship as well, was a Player of the Year, and then, of course, did it in 2000 and left us one of the more indelible golf memories, certainly, of my lifetime here on the First Coast. All right, we'll come back. We'll turn it back to the Jags and free agency with Demetrius Harvey. Get the latest from him. Coming up, you're listening to Jaguars Today, live at the Players on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You know what? If you're making your way out to the Players, don't worry about fighting the traffic. Have that little cooler in your car, like I tell you all the time. Swing by an area gate station. They're all over the place. And really, probably the thing that'll take you the longest is choosing which of Dandy's many delicious varieties that you're going to have today. Here's my suggestion. Get that cooler, put a little ice in it, and grab 3 or 4 different options. Maybe you're riding with friends, and you're going to obviously be the hit because everything Dandy makes is absolutely delicious, made with the highest quality ingredients from sandwiches, subs, gourmet salads, breakfast sliders, light lunchtime wraps, protein packs, veggie trays, fruit cups, you name it, something for everybody on the go. No matter how hungry you are, maybe you just need a little snack, a little pick-me-up, Dandy has got your back. So swing into a gate station, fill up the tank, fill up your belly with some delicious goodness from a Jacksonville company. Dandy sandwiches and subs and the Anytime Deli line. When you're hungry at Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Here's a 1010XL Players Championship Leaderboard update.
Willie McDonald with your Players Championship update, brought to you by Roundtree Sod and Doorbell Farms Fresh Produce Delivery. The 2025 Players Championship officially underway at TPC Sawgrass down in Ponte Vedra. Looking at a couple of the names at the top of the leaderboard, right now we have Vince Whaley, Lucas Glover, and Bud Cauley tied for first. Whaley secured a birdie on 11, currently at 3 under through 11, and Glover hitting a birdie on 7, sitting at 3 under through 7. Followed behind him is CT Pan, currently at 2 under through 11, and Justin Thomas, your 2021 Players Champion, also sits at 2 under through 7, recently securing a birdie on 16. Your next update from the Players in 20 minutes.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round 1 of draft night. through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes. One lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsored and administrator, Everbank N.A.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's exclusive 31-day spring event. Experience superior craftsmanship and timeless design with buy one, get one 40% off custom replacement windows and patio doors. Enjoy the ease of 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires March 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Jaguars Today Thursday, brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
For Canine Veterans Day, Navy Mutual would like to salute all active and retired canines that have served our country. Canine Veterans Day has been officially designated as a day to honor these unique members of our military. America salutes you.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Keep the offseason rolling with AA Automotive at 1010XL. Which free agents could look good in a teal jersey?
That's a beautiful thing.
Free agency profiles are covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. Experience the universal difference.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ORDER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ORDER to 42424. That's ORDER to 42424.
DUI? BUI? Don't stress. Call me Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
The 2025 NFL season is right around the corner, and the Jags are building something special. A fresh team, a new culture, and a stadium that's going to change the game. Be there to witness head coach Liam Cohen and the rest of the coaching crew in action by securing your season tickets today. Become a member to get access to exclusive experiences, VIP events, and more. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank this fall.
The First Tee Tour Card is back for 2025 and better than ever, with access to over 15 of North Florida's best courses and new this year, local participating businesses. This card is your ticket to saving hundreds. First Tee North Florida is a local nonprofit who build character in youth participants through the game of golf. This annual fundraiser enables this amazing organization the ability to build game changers. Grab your tour card for just $99 at tourcard.org. for a list of participating partners, benefits, and restrictions.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today. on 1010XL.
All right, got a lot going on. Brian Thomas Jr. is out here at the Players today. Was doing some stuff, reading to kids. Nemours had a little area set up for him out here, so I know he's doing a little media availability. I don't know if he'll swing by the Palm Valley Village or not, but we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. But in the meantime, we've landed the big fish. Mr. Demetrius Harvey from the Florida Times-Union joins us right now, I believe, en route to the Miller Electric Center, if I'm being told accurate information. Demetrius, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm probably like 5 minutes away, so
all right.
Be ready to talk to the free agents and GM James Gladstone.
Keep your eyes on the road, and but your focus on Jaguars Today, of course, please. But just be careful out there. So Gladstone speaking today, Demetrius. Look, the Jags still have money to spend. They can still do more things, but this seems to indicate that the early wave of free agency all took place Monday, and maybe, in my view, they're going to cool their jets a little bit and see how the market settles. Do you read it the same way?
Yeah, I mean, they immediately pretty much signed or agreed to terms with, 9 guys. It seems like they were pretty strategic about either the type of players that they wanted or the position groups, but either way, they seem to have gotten, all of the guys that they would have wanted in terms of filling the needs that they needed to. And so, yeah, I think that they're in a situation now where they'll probably cool down. They won't have too much more going on, but the core of the free agents are here.
So what about Cooper Kupp, just in terms of what do you think the Jags' level of interest would be? Obviously released yesterday. They've got the cap space to at least be a player. Do they, check the price tag on him, or do you think that at the moment they're good even for a guy like that?
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't at least go ahead and see what's going on with that situation. I know that they've, obviously explored, something with him. They've talked about him before. So I don't know necessarily if there's something brewing there or anything like that, but I do think that they should at least, go out and call and see what he's going to command because, Cooper Kupp's a guy that can come in and instantly be a reliable target as long as he stays healthy for Trevor Lawrence. He's obviously going to be missing Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. Both of those guys were incredibly reliable for Trevor, and so, bringing in a guy like him would make sense, but it really just, I think that they shouldn't spend too much money.
What are you looking to hear from Gladstone this afternoon when you have the opportunity to speak with him?
Yeah, I just kind of want to see because, the guy got hired and immediately went to Indy. There wasn't really much time for him to really get a good deep dive of the roster beyond what he has to study for his interview process. So we didn't really get a good idea of exactly how he views the roster. They were sort of going through that at the Combine. So that's one of the main things that I'll be searching for today in terms of just, where do you view how this roster is shaping up? I know Liam Cohen said it's not a 4-win roster. It's more than that. But where does Gladstone sort of see and view it? It sort of has become clear that, there were some key holes, but how much more work did they have to do?
What did you make of the guys that they chose to target on Monday?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I think my favorite signing probably is Patrick McCarry, from the Ravens. And in terms of just him being able to play at all 5 positions, I don't know if he's good at all 5, but he can at least do it. Having that versatility, you needed a right guard. I thought bringing in Jordan Lewis was interesting, and only so far as, obviously he brings a veteran presence to the secondary, which I think was desperately needed last year. But he does replace a couple players that already played that nickel position, so I think that'll be interesting. And then just in terms of the overall depth that they got, a couple tight ends that are blocking tight ends. The other offensive lineman as a 6th offensive lineman. Nick Mullins as a backup quarterback. It's all positions that they sort of needed to fill, and time will tell whether or not they were the right decisions.
Where do you think, if they were going to add another free agent sometime here in the next few days, what position do you think is most likely that they would address?
Yeah, and I wasn't necessarily surprised, but a little bit, I'll be a little surprised if they don't bring in some sort of third pass rusher behind Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, if only because you're already going to be moving Eric Armstead back to defensive tackle permanently. So you have a hole there. It seems obvious. So I just think that maybe once the market cools down a bit, you go ahead and bring in a depth piece there for the third pass rusher.
Has anything that the Jags have done this week precluded them from going in any particular direction early in the draft? Or are you just looking at it strictly best player available, or whatever mode they were in prior to Monday? Are they still in that mode?
I don't think it precludes them necessarily, but it does make it so that they're not pigeonholed into, perhaps selecting an offensive lineman at 5 if they don't think that he's worth the value. I do think that it does open up a little bit of room for being able to, invest in a guy like T-Mac at 5, even though I personally wouldn't agree with that move necessarily. But, I think that what this has done is sort of just make sure that they don't have any blatant holes to fill. I don't necessarily think that it opens up too much, because I do think that you can go ahead and still draft a corner. You can still draft a offensive lineman if you want. You can still draft a defensive tackle, obviously. So it just made it so that they don't have to sort of go ahead and do it immediately.
What have your thoughts been on the stated plan that you've heard from coach and GM since they got here, and the way that they've carried out that with the things that they've actually done this week?
Yeah, I mean, sort of the mandate that Cohen and I don't know if I would call it a mandate, but the whatever you would want to call it, is they wanted to raise the floor of the roster. This is a team that, there are some pieces you can name, but beyond them, usually there's not that much depth behind it. When players go down, we have players coming out from the practice squad getting meaningful snaps. That's something that can't necessarily happen moving forward. And so I do think that their plan so far to raise the floor has taken place. I mean, look at the free agents they brought in. These are all guys who have had experience pretty much. They're all guys that are growing. Even a guy like Dami Brown, he's someone that, could be a guy that explodes. So I do think that this plan so far and what we know about it has gone well. We just have to continue to see what they do.
Demetrius Harvey for another moment or two, and then we'll let you go and get over there to the Miller Electric Center. With the signing of Jordan Lewis, I think it caught some people off guard because they felt like, oh, look, Jarian Jones would be the nickel. They need an outside corner. So they sign a guy who is better served to play nickel, a slot corner. And so what do you think happens with Jarian Jones? Do you expect him to be an opening day starter on the outside? Do you think they're going to draft another young guy and throw him all in the mix and let him compete? Like, what did this signing, if anything, indicate to you? And I guess we'll ask James Gladstone about that later on today, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts, and we'll see what they have to say, but my thoughts are that, obviously they feel okay with Jarian potentially playing outside, because in my opinion, if they didn't, then you wouldn't go out and sign a Jordan Lewis, because you would already have Jarian at slot. You already know that Darnell Savage can play there too. He was brought in last year to do that. So to me, this signing indicates that they feel higher on Jarian outside than maybe I do or other people could, given his time at FSU and before. But, I do think that this is a sign that Jarian potentially goes outside. I don't think that he's necessarily the day one starter, and I do think that they still draft a corner high in this year's draft.
Speaking of day one starters, do you think Robert Hainsey winds up being the day one starter at center for the football team?
Yeah, that one was interesting. I think that from what they paid him, you would think that would be the move there, but I think he's definitely a stopgap kind of guy, where he has familiarity with Liam Cohen. He knows the offense. He's not going to be surprised by anything. He can help Trevor. I think that it's a smart signing. It's something that doesn't preclude you from investing in that position in the draft. And obviously, moving forward, years from now, you have to go ahead and get somebody for the future. But yeah, I do expect him, at least for now, to be the starter. But again, we'll hear from Gladstone later.
All right, Demetrius, what's the most important thing, or the first question you'd like to ask James Gladstone today? And I'm sure we'll hear his answer, but what is the most pressing question that he needs to answer today?
Yeah, really, I think it's just sort of what I said before. Just in terms of their vision, how do they feel about the roster? How do they feel about the group they brought in? Obviously, they're going to say they love them, but just in terms of where this puts the team, and then obviously I'm sure somebody will ask if they're interested in Cooper Kupp, so that'll be interesting.
All right, Demetrius Harvey, Florida Times-Union, at Demetrius82 on the X platform. Does a great job covering your Jacksonville Jaguars. I trust you've made it safely to the Miller Electric Center. Thanks for squeezing us in, brother, and we'll be listening for your reporting and reading it coming out of the press conferences later on today.
All right, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, buddy. There he goes, Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union. It's interesting, I thought, Tony, that Demetrius said he thinks he'll still go early on corner in this. I don't get that sense myself. I don't know if that's a great use of resources. In fact, the Jags, according to Tony Pauline, are looking at some smaller school defensive backs at some of their pro days. Have shown a lot of interest. We'll get into that when we come back, and I'll give you some of the specific names that he mentioned. But glad we could bring you Demetrius Harvey. So a busy, quick-moving first hour. Hal Sutton, two-time Players champ, swinging by. Keep in mind, we'll have leaderboard updates for you as we go to every break today, including coming up here in just a few moments, so you can get all caught up on who's doing what. 3 under par, three-way lead right now out here at TPC Sawgrass. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. Here's a 1010XL Players Championship Leaderboard update.
And Molly McDonald with your Players Championship update, brought to you by Taco Lou with tacos on 12. The 2025 Players Championship is officially underway with round 1 down in Ponte Vedra. Currently looking at the top of the leaderboard, we have a 3-way tie at first with Vince Whaley, Tom Hoagie, and Bud Cauley, all at 3 under. Whaley is through 12, and Cauley, who made the jump up recently after starting on the back 9, secured 3 eagles in a row at holes 11, 12, and 13, is currently through 4. And Hoagie, who eagled on 7, also holds the course record. He's through 7. CT Pan, Chan Kim are a few that are trailing closely behind them, sitting at 2 under. Your next update from the Players in 20 minutes.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
The Jacksonville Icemen are back at home this Friday and Saturday evening at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Join us Friday as the Icemen take on the Orlando Solar Bears for Wizards Night, presented by Florida Department of Health. Come out and wear your house colors. Then on Saturday, the Icemen close out their home set against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Game time at 7. Tickets available on Ticketmaster or by calling 904-602-BUCK. Iceman hockey is #Frozen Frenzy.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold and silver and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at almost $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey folks, Ticket here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts, sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, This is a light beer. But we should really tell people about... Right. That's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier. Unexpectedly. Light beer.
Corona Premier, a light beer with just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. The premier side of life. For those that are active and on the go, pick some up the next time you're heading out to enjoy the day under the sun. Corona Premier, an unexpectedly light beer.
It's kind of like his own private locker, and you're his guest.
Every time we talk, I'm reinvigorated by my love of the game.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010xl.com.
Hayes Blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count. Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy, you look worried.
Worried? I'm apoplectic!
You're what now?
I'm freaking out, Jason. Stupid water heater crapped out, so I haven't showered since Thursday. I start smelling a little funky, blow my big corporate job interview tomorrow, I'll end up settling for some dead-end career selling spatulas on the internet!
Dude, stay cool.
There's nothing cool about a cold shower, Jason! I mean, I know how that sounds, but...
Bueller Air and Plumbing can get a new water heater installed today. The day you call. You could be smelling fresh again by dinner time.
Wait, you can do that?
Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Is that cooler?
Oh, yeah.
Well, life moves pretty fast. If you spend much more time smelling like this, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hi, it's Rick Ballou. I hope you'll join me and some former NFL players for an incredible event at the end of March, the Lone Warrior Foundation 2025 Champions of Hope Charity Golf and Tennis Challenge. March 31st at Marsh Landing will support single-parent families in their fight against cancer. An opportunity to win sensational prizes, but more importantly, we will bring meaningful hope and support to the lives of families affected. To sign up, go to LoneWarriorFoundation.com. That's LoneWarriorFoundation.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
What does it mean when someone says the continental United States?
It's always a good idea to compare homeowners' insurance rates when it's time to renew. Before storm season, log on to southernoak.com and get an instant quote or find an agent in your area.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The continental United States refers to all United States in North America. Hawaii is in the southern hemisphere.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, live at the Players Championship, Vince Whaley and Tom Hoagie tied for the lead at 3 under par. That seems to have been the high water mark or low water mark, however you want to look at it. You want to be under par tone. Jordan Spieth at one point was at 3 under, and then he made a double on 14. He started on the back 9, and then he bogeyed 15, but he eagled 16. So he's eagled both the par 5s on that side. Plus he birdied 10, which is a devil of a little hole.
Yeah,
Shouldn't be, but for at least for me, it's the devil of a hole. Anyway, so Spieth is, he's making it interesting out there. A double, a bogey, 2 eagles, and a birdie, and a couple of pars mixed in as well. And he's been one of the highlights of the morning. The big featured pairing of Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, and Rory McIlroy going off this afternoon. So if you're making your way out here, you'll get a chance to watch them. All right, let's get caught up on a few things here, Tony. On the YouTube virtual studio chat, one of the first comments we got this morning, the Dami Brown signing is so slept on, says Ryan. And he followed up, the speed on the field was going to shock people. I saw it live when I went to a Commanders game last year. Yes, he is a fast guy. right? And I'm not saying, look, obviously the Jags giving him $10 million have to have a vision for how he's going to fit into their offense. He could block as well. He's a physical guy, and he does have good speed, but that speed didn't translate into a high yards per catch average. They didn't use him really as a field stretcher. They used him on a lot of screens. He had, 7.5 of his yards per catch came after contact last year, so he was catching a lot of passes close to the line of scrimmage and making do with what he could. Like, I don't doubt that there are players that take a while to come along, and we all saw he had a pretty productive postseason for the Washington Commanders. But $10 million is not indicative of what he has done in the National Football League. And I know you're supposed to pay him for what you expect him to do. That seems like one where you might have been able to get him for kind of half that money. Honestly, I don't know what the market was, but I guess they really just identified him among all the available wideouts as the guy that they had to have. They thought he was a scheme fit. I'm hopeful. I'm always hopeful when the Jags sign these guys. But Dami Brown, if he's to have a productive season for this team, would be going against the norm of his 4-year career to this point.
Yeah, it's not like Washington was exactly in a cap bind as far as keeping him or not keeping him, at this point. But it's...
And we get it. They get Debo in there.
Yeah, they're bringing Debo in, and he's going to be the guy playing opposite Terry McLaurin, you would think. But that still means Dami Brown as that third, fourth receiver.
Sure.
At that kind of price tag, why wasn't Washington in business on that? Because I don't know that the money would be a whole lot different in Washington than it wound up being here in Jacksonville. I think he can be an effective third or fourth wide receiver, and I don't mind the money on the deal. I think it is eye-opening anytime somebody gets one of those one-year deals at that kind of age, when they hit the free agency market. But I could see, there being a plan to use him in the offense. It's more here in Jacksonville, what do they have outside of Brian Thomas Jr.?
Right.
Like, who is the two right now on this team? I think Parker Washington, if they had to go play today, I think Parker Washington is the guy who's going to be their primary punt returner on the football team right now. I would imagine he's going to be one of the primary kick returners on the team right now and probably the third wide receiver, right? Like the slot guy?
Yeah.
Like that's where he's most effective. It's not that he can't play outside, but that's where they're at with it right now. What are they going to get out of Gabe Davis at any point in his Jaguars career?
And when it comes to Parker Washington, what kind of slot receiver are they looking for, right? Like they use Chris Godwin as a bigger guy compared to Washington in the slot a lot. They moved on from Christian Kirk.
And the coach has made a point of talking about how effective Brian Thomas Jr. was out of the slot.
Correct. Bigger. So, is Parker Washington well suited to play outside? I don't know if Parker Washington doesn't end up being the fourth guy, even on this present depth chart, and that's before they go out there and hopefully address the position. I think they've got to address the position again, whether it's signing a guy like Kupp, and then maybe you can wait until the later rounds and take a flyer on somebody, or maybe going a little bit earlier. I don't know. Demetrius Harvey talked about, is Ted McMillan a reasonable option at 5, something he wouldn't do, but it really comes down to their evaluation, which plays into today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. Let me read it out there for you. Give you 4 options in today's poll on which of these outside-the-box picks would you be most on board with for the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 2025 NFL Draft. Is it Ashton Genty, the Boise State running back, at 5, Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end, at 5, or if you could get Alabama linebacker Jahad Campbell, former Jaguar Jahad Ward, or edge rusher Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M, either of the latter two at pick 36. Why don't we discuss that with today's 10-10 take?
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
I'll rank these, Tone, I think in the order of the way I'd be interested in them based on what I know about it. I'm not a GM. I'm not breaking down film. I've got my opinions like anybody else, and part of it has to do with the player, but it also has to do with the need for this football team. And I would say Shamar Stewart is number 4 on the list in terms of interest to me because, again, I want to get away from, and I think the Jags do as well, this drafting on potential. And he's winning this poll with 35% of the vote, over 500 votes in. But, again, here's a guy who's got all the measurables you could want. Then you wonder, well, after 3 years, why didn't it click? Why wasn't he more productive with the Aggies? He had 1.5 sacks each season for 3 years at College Station. Probably the least interested in that guy, even at pick 36. And a lot of people think he'll be well off the board by then. If I'm and he's not like the sub-package size guy. He's like a 270-pound guy, like a full-time NFL defensive end. You better have some kind of plan, because I'm not taking a guy at 36 to be my third designated pass rusher, and particularly a designated pass rusher who hasn't shown the ability to get quarterbacks on the ground, at least over the last 3 years. Very close for me as how I'd rank the 2 and 3 here. I'd probably say Jahad Campbell is 3, but it's close with Tyler Warren at 5. I think Tyler Warren has an immediate spot. He could top the depth chart right away at tight end, right? Ahead of Brenton Strange in terms of being a two-way guy, great pass catcher, physical blocker, can do everything. I think he'd be a very good fit for this team. But is he a value with pick number 5 when you've got so many other needs? And again, a lot of people are going, goal line. Well, that's why we're talking. These are outside-the-box picks. These are not the Mason Grahams and the Will Campbells of the world. Jahad Campbell, I think, is going to be a really good player. I just want to know what the vision is. I'd be more willing to go that way if I knew in their mind that they're ready to move off of Devin Lloyd after this year, and that's it for him. But I'm probably, for me, and I understand the luxury of this pick if it were to happen, but I would put Ashton Genty at the top of my list, because I think immediately Trevor Lawrence, if you just play Ashton Genty on his rookie deal, and that's it, that's his whole career here in Jacksonville, that takes you to Trevor Lawrence is like 30, 31 years old. Right? That's the prime of Trevor's career. If he is the best skill position guy and you are building a run game, you hope, to help take pressure off your quarterback, and look what that run game was able to do in Tampa last year, and Baker Mayfield benefited from it. Mike Evans got his. Chris Godwin got his when he was healthy. It was just a flourishing offense in all aspects. I think that Genty is potentially one of those special guys that is going to be worth a top 10 pick in the draft. He's not a screaming need for this team with Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby on the roster, but I think he's better than either one of them. I think he comes in and the offense, well, it's always going to be Trevor-centric to some degree, would almost run through Ashton Genty. That if you're taking him at 5, that's kind of what you're saying. And you have him that makes defensive coordinators worry about your running game, along with a hopefully improved offensive line. That can help open things up for Brian Thomas Jr. and whoever else they get. So I'd go Genty for me at the top of this list. He's only getting the 3rd most votes in this. So it'd probably be almost in the order listed: Genty, Warren, Campbell, and Stewart. What about yourself?
This is tough for me to figure out how to order. I would have Stewart 4th.
Okay.
That I have pretty solid in my mind, that I would have him at the bottom of the list given the production he's had. Even at 36, it wouldn't drive me crazy, right, if they wound up getting him at 36, but it would be, he's doing what? What is the plan with that guy with the 2 edges that you have?
Right.
I understand bringing in a 3rd edge. I'm very much in favor of it.
If you had an opening for a starting edge,
and I think Abdul Carter being available at 5, you draft him and figure it out. Right, like he's too talented a player to pass up at 5 for me. If there are other names that have come off the board that I would have above him, we did that top 5 a few weeks ago, and I had Carter there at 5 with the other 4 guys. These are the 4 that I would take, and if they're all off the board and Carter's still there, it wouldn't be hard for me to just figure out what to do with a player of that kind of talent. Putting the other 3 in order, I can't easily get past how I value tight ends in the league. It's hard for me to swallow taking a tight end at 5. It's just hard for me to get there.
If he turned out to be the next Brock Bowers?
It's still tough.
Man, I think Bowers is every bit worth that pick.
I get it, but I think Jacksonville is in a bit of a different position than the Raiders were. I think Jacksonville is closer to being competitive than the Raiders were, and part of that is the division they're playing in. I don't think it's all that difficult to find a path for the Jaguars to win the AFC South. I
don't either.
I don't think it's that difficult. So it brings running back and tight end back into it a little bit to me. Otherwise, 5 would be too much of a premium to pay for those positions in the draft. So it's trying to figure out how to balance those things. I would probably put Genty at the top of my list with you. I'd probably put Campbell 2nd and Warren 3rd on my list. And that is a lot to do with how do I get over how I value these specific positions. To look specifically at the player, it's really close between all three of them, though, in my mind. But I would go Genty, Campbell, Warren.
All right, and I do think that all these guys could very easily go in the first round, right? So the idea of getting them at 36, like I try to put or how about the less talked about guys there at 36? Like, okay, even if you feel that this is a value based on where they're projected to go, is it a great fit for what the Jaguars need right now? Like Campbell isn't necessarily a need right now, but could Devin Lloyd be improved upon? I think he can. Yeah. But maybe maybe Anthony Campanile gets enough out of him this year to make him look like a guy that they want to re-sign to another 3 or 4 year deal.
Sure.
And, beyond that, and Foye Oluokun, you really don't have much at linebacker for this team. We don't know what Chad Muma is. Chad Muma is just a guy who was a third-round pick, and he's never really stood out to me. Is he an NFL caliber player? Yeah. Sure.
Ventrell Miller, when we did the
Ventrell's the one.
Defensive building blocks, was not an uncommon name.
No, that's just right over my head.
Right,
on that.
like and it's one of those. I didn't have him on my building blocks list, but I think it speaks to how, because I had Foye at number 5 on my list there, given that I think he'll be here for at least the next 2 years and could be 3. So I don't look at inside linebacker necessarily as a big need for the football team at this point in time, but I don't know how these guys feel about Ventrell Miller. I don't know how they feel about Muma. I don't know how anyone feels about Devin Lloyd at this point in his career. I wouldn't be surprised if they were very comfortable replacing that.
Well, and mea culpa on my part. I should have, Ventrell should have sprung to mind a lot quicker. And that again, which is part of the conversation of why, you play so much 5 defensive back packages, nickel packages, that you only have 2 linebackers on the field anyway. Yeah. And, so what's the path, the play time, and then what does that mean for some of the guys that you've got? And great, we're quote, raising the floor. As somebody said on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, that raising the floor is basically going to be the epitaph on this season. They raised the floor will be prominently displayed on the tombstone of the 2025 season, which will be erected by mid-November. So that. I also got this one. Just heard on 660, The Fan in New York, that they believe the Giants can trade for Trevor Lawrence. Everyone thinks they can trade for Trevor Lawrence, by the way. And as a person from New York and a Jags fan, I just laughed. I laugh along with you. They're not trading Trevor Lawrence and putting themselves, in the position that the Giants are in right now? Like, I mean, again, if you can't solve the quarterback position, you can have all these first-round picks that you might be able to acquire for him, including the 3rd overall, and what's your answer?
Yeah. Every year this kind of stuff comes up, right? And this year it seems to have been T. Higgins would be the big one. I think that people are like, well, yeah, but can you trade for it? It's like, why would Cincinnati trade him? Why? With the kind of contract that they can get him under and control him for the next 2 years, that's the bigger force factor in whether or not T. Higgins is going to be traded. Why would Jacksonville trade Trevor Lawrence?
They wouldn't.
Does anyone who talks about this in any other market even consider the other side of this? Or do they want to use Jacksonville like a piggy bank for the rest of the National Football League? It's nonsense.
No, the answers are they wouldn't. No and yes, I think, is in the order of the questions asked right there. All right, as we go to timeout here, according to Diana Rossini, the Steelers have signed a quarterback, and it's Mason Rudolph. 2 years, $8 million. Does that mean it's fallen through with Aaron Rodgers?
Come on back, buddy.
Or is that, that is kind of backup money.
Yeah.
But that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Not our concern here, at least for the short term. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, live at the Players Championship. More leaderboard updates coming your way on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180. Weight loss just passed their 10th anniversary, and along the way, they've helped over 24,000 clients lose a combined 750,000 plus pounds, probably up over 800,000 at this point in time. And along the way, cutting through the misconceptions of the necessary lose weight quick gadgets. You don't need them. Fad diets, medications, injections, forget about it. Awaken 180 is going to teach you what to eat, when to eat, how frequently to eat to help you turn your body into a fat-burning machine. And set a goal weight. They'll help you reach it as quickly as possible. And once you do, it's free coaching and support for life, which is the backbone of the Awaken 180 program. And along the way, if you drop those pounds, a lot of clients from Awaken 180 have eliminated the need for cholesterol medications, blood pressure, even type 2 diabetes medications. And people like me, your neighbors, a lot of people out there having success. You could be the next Awaken 180 success story here in Jacksonville. Visit awaken180weightloss.com to schedule a free consultation. That's Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Here's a 1010XL Players Championship Leaderboard update.
And we're here at the 51st Players, and a good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in here. This Players Update is brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and AC, and by Sawgrass Asset Management. You know, there's a lot of money up for grabs on the PGA Tour during the season, somewhere around $400 million. The PGA Tour signature events feature the most money, as all 8 of those events will have $20 million purses. But this tournament, the Players, has a $25 million purse, with 18% or $4.5 million big ones going to the winner. It's very early in this tournament, so why not take a look at the field from the bottom up? At 8 over par is Chad Ramey bringing up the rear, along with Patrick Rogers at 6 over, Rafael Campos, and Hideki Matsuyama at 5 over par right now at the moment. As we go to the leaderboard, we'll take a look at the top as we see we have a 4-way tie for the lead with Lucas Glover, the guy who putts with his eyes closed, at -3. Along with Aaron Rye, Chris Kirk, and Bud Cauley. About a half a dozen players are just a stroke back. We'll be here live at the Players all throughout the tournament, and we'll be doing reports, roughly every 20 minutes live from the Palm Valley Village. I'm high-flying Jack O'Brien. We'll be back in just a few shakes. May the sports be with you.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Jaguars Today, Thursday, is brought to you by
Cannons of Jacksonville.
The Players, one of the biggest events on the PGA Tour, is right here in our backyard. So how much do you know about the tournament? Scotty Scheffler came from 5 strokes back on Sunday to win at TPC Sawgrass last year, the 4th player in tournament history to close a 5-shot or more gap, including Justin Leonard, who did it in 1998. Sawgrass Asset Management, specializing in high-quality growth stock and fixed-income portfolios for institutional and high-net-worth investors. A Jacksonville company proud to be involved in the community.
Hey, this is Darren with One Call Lawn and Pest Control. Since 2011, we've taken great pride in being Northeast Florida's premier lawn, termite, and pest control company. Our technicians receive thorough training year-round, focusing on exceptional customer service with meticulous attention to detail. One Call serves the greater Jacksonville area, including St. Augustine, Orange Park, and Fernandina. We're eager for the opportunity to earn your business and welcome you to the One Call family. Call or text us for a free quote. 413-8377.
I insist on complete honesty.
You can chime in anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
If you have something to say to me, I wish you would just say it.
Share your opinion.
Nuts? What?
641-1010.
It's crazy.
The restaurant of the day is the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Get a Greek Feast family combo meal tray with chicken skewers, gyro meat, dolmades, and more. Feed 4 to 6 people for just $49.95. Feed 8 to 10 for just $99.95. The Great Greek Mediterranean Grill.
With the sun setting earlier, Hidden Hills Golf Club has expanded their twilight specials so you can take advantage of our special afternoon rates and get your round in before dark. Book today at hiddenhillsgc.com and enjoy this beautiful fall weather.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, Underwoods has sold fine quality diamonds for a long time. Why is that important?
Frank, if you drew a line with the poorest diamonds with the lowest prices to the left and the highest quality to the right, our diamonds are at the far right end. Now, once we know the weight, the grading factors of cut, color, and clarity have to be considered. And the one that's talked about the least, but it's the most important to us, is the diamond's cut grade, because it has a huge implication on both the price and the beauty, and thus the value. I've bought diamonds for Underwoods for over 30 years, so I know what's out there, and the cut grade's just not important to most diamond sellers. That's really been the Underwood difference, because beautifully cut diamonds result in the most important thing they can do. They bring a joy of owning and wearing a diamond, not just today, but tomorrow and into the future. That's why it's important to us.
And it should be to you too, because nothing brings more joy than a diamond from Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra since 1928.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not looking at the rearview mirror of unforgiveness. It's so easy to keep looking in the past when someone has hurt or offended us. What we don't realize that if we keep looking at the rearview mirror of anger, it will cause us to miss out on the good things that God has in store right in front of us. Friends, looking in the rearview mirror of the past will never give you peace in the present.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is RJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, some feedback on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Welcome out to the players, by the way. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith here with you. Tony, have I mentioned my name is somewhere in that building? Right
I've
there.
heard.
That's the first time all week, though, I've mentioned it. You got to say, that's pretty good of me, right? I did get one on Twitter that said, hey, Hal Sutton never had a hole-in-one on number 8. Now, I don't know if he did or not. But that's kind of the litmus test.
If he did, it'll be in that building.
It would be in that building, I would think, yes. I don't know. Do they have the ones who make them in the tournament on there? Or is that just people
I do not know.
I don't know if that's the case or not. Maybe.
Somewhere.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to look. I know this. There are less names on that placard for number 8 than there are any of the other par 3s out here. So there you go. All right. It was obligatory. I didn't bring it up, or I guess I kind of did. Anyway, on the text line, in regards to our Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day today, with Genty, Warren, Campbell, and Stewart, I don't like any of the 4. Well, that's kind of the point of the question, right? Yeah. Like, these are out-of-the-box thinking. Like, we're conditioning ourselves to think, okay, lineman, and they may, in fact, do just that. So we're just saying, hey, in this hypothetical, which one would bother you the least? He said Campbell at 36 would peeve him the least. Next one. Different people sending these in. No way a tight end not named Bowers is a good pick at 5.
Oh.
Okay. I get it. Brock Bowers was fantastic last year. A lot of people are very high on Tyler Warren. Okay, that's fine. Next, very next one sent in. Tight end's part of the offensive line. If Travis Hunter's not there, Tyler Warren is it at 5. So, again, it's the way we are. We're conditioned. I'm guilty of it all the time.
Sure.
This is my opinion, and if you don't agree with it, you're wrong. And sometimes that's the case, but sometimes it's not. And we're all wrong in our opinions sometimes, but there's so much of if they do this, they're stupid. If they do that, like, look, man, sometimes out-of-the-box thinking works, or going down a road that you didn't consider can be the best road to go down.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I have Tyler Warren properly valued in my mind because of the way that I feel about tight ends. Right?
Okay.
And I understand that I have a bias about this because of the way that I feel about tight ends and the value of that position specifically in the draft. So I would not be the person that's going to be doing jumping jacks over Tyler Warren potentially coming to Jacksonville. It's just that's not me. So I acknowledge that whenever these kind of conversations come up and say, you can feel however you want to. I can understand people that would be excited about Tyler Warren. I get it. Right? Why you would be excited about him, I cannot meet you there in that excitement about that player because I am biased against the position to some degree.
I understand. I understand. Look, again, we're not all going to agree, and no matter whom they take, if they take Will Campbell, there's going to be, oh, I can't believe you didn't take Mason Graham, or vice versa, or, you took Travis Hunter, yay, or, oh, that's stupid, we need big guys.
Unavoidable.
It's just the way it is, and that's fine. You know what? Everyone's entitled to their own opinion on it. The only litmus test that really matters is the record. Why don't we do this, Tone, before we hit the next break? Let's take a quick tour around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Tennessee is signing wide receiver Van Jefferson to a one-year, $2.5 million contract. They also have agreed to a one-year, $10 million deal with defensive lineman Draymond Jones. Tennessee is trading linebacker Kenneth Murray and a 7th-round pick to Dallas for a 6th-round pick. Buffalo is trading cornerback Kaiir Elam and a 6th-round pick to Dallas for a 5th-round pick this year and a 7th-round pick next year. Indianapolis is bringing in running back Khalil Herbert on a one-year deal. Denver is signing former Jaguars tight end Evan Ingram on a 2-year, $23 million deal. Mac Jones is signing a 2-year deal in San Francisco. Philadelphia is bringing back cornerback Darius Slay on a 1-year deal after releasing him last week. Minnesota is bringing back safety Harrison Smith on a 1-year deal that could be worth up to $14 million. Arizona is signing nose tackle Delvin Tomlinson to a 2-year, $29 million deal. Buffalo has agreed to a 1-year, $8.3 million deal that could be worth up to $10 million with defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi. Minnesota is signing defensive Javon Hargrave, 2 years, $30 million with $19 million guaranteed. Cleveland with defensive tackle Malik Collins, 2 years, $20 million with $13 guaranteed. The Browns are expected to host Russell Wilson for a visit this week. The Giants also expected to host Wilson for a visit sometime this week. Pittsburgh is bringing in running back Kenneth Gainwell on a 1-year deal. Carolina, a 1-year deal with running back Rico Dowdle. Philadelphia, a 1-year deal with running back A.J. Dillon. Seattle is signing defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence to a 3-year deal that could be worth up to $42 million with $18 guaranteed. Seattle is also signing wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling on a 1-year, $6.5 million deal. And Washington is bringing back backup quarterback Marcus Mariota on a 1-year, $8 million deal.
Interesting. Valdes-Scantling, I mean, you talk about fast guys that are signing 1-year deals that have at least flashed a little in the NFL. I mean,
sure,
you go for about half of Dami Brown, right? Now, maybe they don't think he's physical enough. Maybe he's just a field stretcher and not much more. So I'm not saying he's an exact one-for-one replication of what Dami Brown's expected to bring to Jacksonville. It's just interesting to see some of the deals that these guys get for, I think, similar players that are not making as much money as some of the ones that Jacksonville gave out. But, hey, look, time will tell. It's Cohen and Gladstone and Baselli's squad now to shape for sure. All right, we'll come back with I've got a bunch coming in here that I want to reflect on. We haven't talked about Evan Ingram signing with the Denver Broncos, so we'll touch on that. Got another leaderboard update coming your way here momentarily. Helmets and heels, less than 30 minutes away, and a bunch of Jag players who just signed are getting ready to speak right now at the Miller Electric Center. You'll hear selected audio from them throughout the course of the day here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Pella Windows and Doors. Got them in my house. That is the highest compliment I can give you. And all of my sponsors, I use all of their products, and Pella Windows and Doors, simply the best in the industry. Don't ask me, ask Consumer Reports. Rate them number one in all the major window categories. I needed to replace all my windows. Maybe you just want a new sliding glass door. Pella's got you covered with a just bevy of experts that can show you all the ins and outs, get it done for you, and you'll be so thankful that you went with them. PellaJacks.com online, or stop by their showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Here's a 1010XL Players Championship Leaderboard update.
And we're here at the 51st Players. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in here. This Players Update is brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control and by TopDressing.com. You know, most of us who play golf pay to play one way or the other, but did you know there's a place that never charges you to play golf? That's the Buell Park Golf Course in Sharon, Pennsylvania. 9 holes, par 34, no bunkers, no tee times, no locker rooms, no carts. My kind of place, and it's absolutely free. And by the way, the golf course is always in good shape. Lucas Glover now at -4 with a 1-stroke lead over Bo Hostler, Patton Kazire, and Tom Hoagie. Also, Aaron Rye and Chris Kirk are also 3 under par. Most of those guys are in the middle of their round. Chan Kim at 2 under par after 14. Alex Smalley at 2 under par. He's played through 12, now on the front side. Wyndham Clark at 2 under par. Jordan Spieth joins that group after 9 holes. He's 2 under par. He just went back to the front side. Bud Cauley at 2 under par, as well as Jesper Svensson and Davis Riley. We'll be here live at the Players all throughout the tournament, but we're early. We're here in round 1 at the 51st Players Championship. I'm High Flying Jack O'Brien. May the sports be with you. Back in just a few minutes.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway for all your outdoor living needs. Let them show you how a durable paver driveway can enhance your home. Visit stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren here for Big Chief Tire. Tax season is the perfect time to invest in your vehicle. Use your refund to tackle overdue tire replacements, brake repairs, or routine maintenance. Big Chief Tire's skilled technicians ensure every dollar counts, keeping your car running strong. With 5 convenient locations around town, fair prices, and trusted expertise, they've got you covered. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
You're locked into Jaguars Today Thursday with Cannons of Jacksonville.
Hello, I'm attorney Malcolm Anthony. Being charged with domestic violence can turn your life upside down. If you're in trouble, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
The Hoops action continues on the first Friday of the tourney. Watch the Madness with 1010XL and enjoy Madness specials all day long, starting with Helmets and Heels, live from Big Dog Sports Restaurant on Blanding. Then join XL Primetime at Barley and Pie in Fleming Island. The Frangie Show will be at String Sports Brewery in Jacks Beach, and finish the day with Into the Night with Rick Ballou and Hacker After Dark at Top Dog Tavern on Old St. Augustine Road. Now that's the way to celebrate hoops.
I can't believe it!
Mia O'Brien.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
On Helmets and Heels, noon to 2.
I swear to you, I know her.
Then there's the 1010XL video and social media channels.
I would know her voice anywhere.
All Things Mia is driven by Arlington Toyota.
On 1010XL.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging in the mirror? Fine lines, sun damage, redness? They don't have to be part of your future. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, and I can help you look and feel your best without invasive surgery or painful treatments. Imagine rejuvenating your skin in a relaxing, comfortable environment with minimal to no downtime. smooth out fine lines, even skin tone, and restore that youthful glow. Find out how to look and feel your best at Dermagnify.com. Dermagnify.com.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round 1 of draft night. Through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes, one lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsored and administrator, Everbank N.A.
E.T. here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, visit my buddy Dr. McGowan at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. You have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits, even if you're at fault. And no matter what you hear, you have the right to choose your own doctor. So I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Their auto experts will guide you in every step of the way to ensure the care that you need. Your recovery starts with McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation.
It's March Madness, and your office needs a champion. Advanced Business Solutions teams up with Xerox to bring you copiers that never miss a shot. Fast, reliable, and ready to handle the pressure. Make the winning play for your business. Hire the champions at Advanced Business Solutions, where your business goes for the win. Locally and veteran-owned.
Print documents and IT management. Advanced Business Solutions.
Did you know your pup could take 30,000 to 60,000 steps a day at Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard? That's a whole lot of tail wagging fun with their best furry friends. At Dogtopia, they turn playtime into exercise, learning, and socialization in their off-leash, open play environment. Dogs build confidence, reduce anxiety, and stay happy and healthy, all while having the time of their lives. Visit Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, couple of things to remark upon before we get out of here today. By the way, the Chad and Sandy Real Estate dueling questions of the day, getting some decent response today. Our original one over 550 votes, about 400 on the backup out there, and we'll get to those results coming up in a minute. I saw this from Hacker yesterday, Dylan, if I can find it here. Basically, he was talking about the fact that, you know, this happens. Like a team, you look at the 49ers and Deebo Samuel, okay? I remember distinctly reading, hey, anyone who runs a Shanahan-style offense should be interested in Deebo Samuel. Well, I don't know. What about Kyle Shanahan, right? I mean, that's the guy who runs the most Shanahan offense there possibly is. And so you always wonder then, if he's such a good fit in that offense, why are they moving on from him at this point? So Hacker said last night, if the Rams think that Cooper Kupp is done, thus releasing him, why would a guy that came from the Rams and James Gladstone want to bring him here? A whole lot of things to remark upon with this. A, the Rams are not like a monolithic, everyone thinks the same way organization. Because one guy in the organization or the GM feels that way doesn't mean that everybody in the organization feels the same way. Plus, they don't necessarily think that Cooper Kupp can't play anymore. Like, I don't think the Jags think, Tony, that Christian Kirk can't play. I think they don't want him at the price point that he was scheduled to cost them. And so
the whole league said that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So I think they're for Kupp, yes, they said that, but I think the same here in Jacksonville with Christian Kirk. Like, why would Houston want him if Jacksonville doesn't want him anymore? Well, because economically he didn't fit in here, and they have a vision for him. And they have a need that's a little more specific with Tank Dell going down late last year.
I think the Tank Dell news that came out with the ACL surgery just happening kind of pushed them into, well, we got to find something to replace that in the lineup. Probably, if not all year, most of the year at least.
I mean, look, if the Jags don't think Evan Ingram's worth that money, why does Denver think he's worth that money? Because he fits better in their offense, they believe.
More what they want to do.
And so, it was interesting the way he played it. He went and visited with Denver, didn't get a deal done. and then went to the Chargers. Like, oh, okay, you don't want me, I'll go to your division rival. And then quickly they got the deal done with the Broncos. So 2-year deal for Evan Ingram. Look, I expected that he would land somewhere, and I think they're excited to have him. And I think if the Jags ran a different offense, in fact, if they ran this offense, I still would have been on board with keeping Evan Ingram here. Most people would have been.
Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. How many weapons do you have right now other in the passing game other than Brian Thomas Jr.? None. No weapons. I mean, you got some guys who are competent NFL players, but they're nobody that puts a scare into opposing defensive coordinators, in my opinion.
No, I think that he is a figure-it-out type guy. It's hard to convince me that they absolutely did the right thing. I'm not upset with them for doing it because they have a plan for what they want this to look like. They said this doesn't fit what our plan is, so they went a different direction with it. I'm not mad at them for doing it. It doesn't mean I agree with them doing it. It's one of those, I'd be fine if Evan Ingram was playing here one more year.
Sure.
Good. He's a really good player. And obviously has a comfort level with the quarterback here in town that they wouldn't have to worry about, those things. But he doesn't fit what they want it to look like at that position. So they went a different direction. I understand it. Doesn't make me a fan of it.
Again, in terms of the polarizing aspect of certain prospects, don't expect everybody to agree. But it is funny to me how frequently this happens consecutively with feedback that we get on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Ted McMillan.
They're bouncing off each other.
He's the best receiver in a draft class in NFL history. I'd have to go back and look, but I get the idea. Just because he's the best in this class doesn't mean he's great or worthy of a top 5 pick, right? I mean, last year he would have been behind most of the guys in the first round, if not all of them in the first round. Very next one. In the first 2 picks, I want a defensive tackle and a wide receiver. That being said, I want McMillan with the first pick and the best available defensive tackle with the next one. And that's fine. You know what? You want what you want. And I just hope in the end we can all have these conversations. And right now it would be, no matter what they did, right? Like this raising the floor thing, if Balky had made all the same moves, they'd hate them all. Right, that was just the mindset that anything he touches is going to turn into garbage, right? And whether that was true or not, it's clearly not true because Brian Thomas Jr. didn't turn into garbage. There's many examples.
That was the loudest opinion on anything Balky did, right? And there was no way that was going to get any quieter based on what this team just did in free agency. You're not going to hear that opinion a whole lot because no one has a whole lot of animosity with Gladstone. They just don't. It's still kind of the honeymoon period. We've talked about it all week. I understand why they've had as quiet, as far as splash stuff that they've had this week. It's not what I thought was going to happen this week for the football team. I'm not surprised that they are bringing 9 guys in and none of them are guys that everyone's like, yeah. This is okay.
And by the way, I was talking with Mia the other day. I would have liked Javon Holland here. That doesn't mean I'm right.
No.
Right? It doesn't mean that if I sat down with the coaching staff and they said, look, here's how we want to deploy these guys. Here's how we think he fits, his strengths, and this is why he's not high on our list. I'd probably go, okay, that makes sense, right? I mean, but sitting from the outside looking in, we all have our preferences, and Eric Thomas doesn't move the needle for me. Maybe Eric Thomas will turn out to be one of the great bargains of free agency. Who knows? I had to see, I talked about the guy said raising the floor will be prominently displayed on the tombstone of the 2025 season. And then he said it's this season's onboarding, which, okay, I get it, right? You get these catchphrases, and we're trying to convince ourselves that Gladstone is going to do things right. So then the next one they send is, he usually just sends a smart-ass remark to my contributions. And I'm like, wait a minute, who are you even replying to? Do I send a smart-ass remark to your contributions? And then they followed up, excuse me, that was work-related. I can't multitask. It fit in. I really thought, because I am likely to send a smart-ass comment to someone's contributions if I'm in that mood. So definitely possible. It could have been related to me. We appreciate the feedback regardless. All right, Chad and Sandy real estate questions of the day. We already gave you our answers, like the 1, 2, 3, 4 of it, in the order we'd list them. Which of these outside-the-box picks would be the one you'd be most on board with for the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 2025 NFL Draft? And Shamar Stewart, the edge rusher with no production at Texas A&M at 36, has 34.9% of the vote right now, leading the way over Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end, with nearly 30%, 29.9. He's the second favorite option, but in this scenario, you'd have to take him at 5. Then Ashton Genty, The Boise State running back at 5, getting nearly 23% of the vote. Only 12% said they'd be most on board with Jahad Campbell at 36, which ultimately might be the best value out of all these based on where he might go in the draft and what the hypothetical was of where you could grab him. But, again, this is one that surprised me a little bit, that Stewart would be that coveted. I definitely think they need a third edge. I'm not spending the 36th pick in the draft on that guy who's going to be a rotational piece unless they've got some other vision where Trayvon Walker plays a lot more full-time on the inside. Somebody else brought up hey, this maybe we'll make Devin Lloyd that third edge rusher, and I feel like we've been in this loop
man.
for a while. And who knows, maybe they will, right? But I'm going to guess at this point.
He's a linebacker.
Yes, but obviously there are a lot of outside linebackers that rush the quarterback. I don't know that this team would come in and see enough on film from Devin Lloyd to say, this is the plan. We're going to replace him at linebacker. We're going to make him our designated pass rusher on third down.
He is just so unfortunately he's a big problem in pass game.
Yeah.
Like, he can't cover. And it's not that he's not athletic enough to do it. His head gets in the way of his feet when he's doing that kind of stuff, and he can be confused and taken advantage of by opponents. I was thinking as we were, going through the poll question there, Caleb Von Chason, who I might be the only one in Jacksonville that's still willing to admit I was excited about it when they drafted him.
Okay.
But I was excited about it when they drafted him.
I probably was because I'm excited about everyone they take in the first round.
But that was a name. I had brought it up. I was like, it's probably the second best edge in this draft class. I'd be excited if he wound up getting to him with that second first-round pick. I remember talking about it going into that. So when they took him, I was like, yeah. Like, I was excited, legit excited about Caleb Von Chason.
He had 5 sacks in the second half of the year.
He did. He also had 1.5 and 2 sacks for 2 years at LSU, and then he finally exploded with 6.
Yeah,
that
right. And
last
like
year.
his 4th year, whatever.
Right.
Right.
And that's what this guy feels like to me.
Shamar Stewart.
It's Chason all over again to me in my mind. The tools are all there. The athletic ability's all there. When he puts it together, we're going to find gold, right? Like that kind of thing. I'm not interested for digging for that gold.
I'm not either. Certainly not at that investment. And the second Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, overwhelmingly, Cooper Kupp only at the right price, 71% of the vote.
Yeah.
That was the obvious one. That was why it wasn't the front leading question today. Gotta have him getting 13%. He is washed up, getting 12.5%. And I like what we have at wide receiver.
Yeah,
We're
it's
good.
Like the text line. Gotta have him and washed up echo each other.
Yeah, oh man, they really do, right? It bounces back and forth, but I do not like what they have at wide receiver. I don't put it this way. I don't like it to go into September with what they have. I'm not saying the pieces they have aren't okay. They're, to me, as a whole, after Brian Thomas Jr. on that depth chart. So we'll see if they address it at some point. But right now, we are going to address Taylor Dolan, helmets and heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
All right, she's on the Hal Sutton mic right now. That's
Hello.
Taylor Doll. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. We just did a full walk around everywhere trying to find where we were meeting for lunch. I always, and I coordinate all of this, but I always joke about it on Heels. I've been here many years now, and I still get lost every single time.
Yeah.
So,
but you made it here in
I'm
time.
here.
There are a lot of
lunch
options.
Yesterday, I was talking to Joe C. as he was trying to tell Matt Hayes where he needed to go for what they were doing for their show. And Matt, I'm listening to the call. Matt's like, I'm here. And Joe's like, look to your right. He's like, okay, I see the thing to the right. Go over there. You'll find a gravel path. Okay. He gets a call back 30 seconds later. Where am I going?
The fourth tree to the left.
Yeah.
By the way, Spieth back at 2 under. So after he started on the back nine, but he had at the point I had checked 2 eagles, a birdie, double bogey, and a bogey. So he's just like bing, 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 bing.
Sounds like Spieth.
Kind of like the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's coming up on the program?
Yeah, so we actually, kind of similar conversation. We're going to have a discussion today on which of the weapons on the Jaguars right now at this point do we believe will still be here in 2026.
Oh.
And, yeah, so that'll be an interesting one outside of BTJ because I think most people would think and hope. But outside of that, who do you think, Parker Washington, is Gabe Davis still here?
I'll tell you right now, Parker and Tank Bigsby. That's it.
Yeah, and so we're going to go into that. Maybe even expand with the offensive line and talk about that too. Just the offense in general.
Eventually, I'm going to be able to convince Dempsey that Strange can be a weapon.
Oh yeah, Strange. I keep forgetting. I always forget somebody. Strange will be here too. Yeah. And by the way, Taylor's like in her head, like, shut up.
Don't
We're going to
take
talk
our
about
whole
this for 2 hours. I
No,
hate
you're
that
good.
because that's happened to me a million times. Oh, Prosser will do
So
that.
tell me
Like,
everything.
this is no discussion whatsoever.
Yeah,
so
so
yes,
you don't even
Brent
have to talk
Strange.
about it on your show because we're just going to discuss it here. Yeah, so those three guys I think most people will agree with, but we'll get into that. We'll get into like the offense in general. Obviously, we have all the new players being signed. They're talking today. Gladstone will be on. Mia's going out to that. So we'll get into some of the player stuff because Gladstone won't be talking until after our show. But yeah, so a lot more Jags, and obviously we're here at the Players Championship, so we'll continue on talking about some golf and who each of us, we pick our golfers, obviously, so we'll follow through. I picked JT, so hopefully
he was off to a good start, but I don't know if
he was at 1 under for a while, but I haven't checked in a minute.
Yeah. By the way, perfect weather week.
Oh my gosh,
players.
you truly could not have asked for.
It's unbelievable, right? Justin Thomas is 3 over.
Oh no! What happened?
He's T50 right now.
Not good, JT. Not good.
Through 12 holes, so I don't know what happened.
I hyped him up yesterday. I shouldn't have.
JT. Let's see. Oh, here's what happened. I'm guessing he went on the drink on 17. He birdied 11 and 16, the 2 par 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Then he doubled 17 and tripled 18.
Oh,
okay. Well, not very good.
Yeah, and but he's par on the front 9. He played the back first. Anyway, Taylor, have a great show.
Thank
nice
you.
to see
you
you
guys
as always.
Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow out here at the Players. Thanks to Hal Sutton, 2-time former Players champion, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Be the Right Club Today shot for him, and also Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times Union. And we'll be back out tomorrow for Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. Stick around for Helmets and Heels next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Here's a 1010XL Players Championship Leaderboard update.
And we're here at the 50